Solving quadratic equations by factoring. A quadratic equation is nothing more than an equation that we solve by factoring, and we're going to have two solutions in this case. So we're going to solve this using the same process that we've used previously, which of course we know is very simple. So we have x squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. Again, our goal is to identify what the x factors are, or rather the x terms are, that will make this statement true. Alrighty, so let us set it up the way we've done it previously. We are working with our x as our variable. Now the same process. What two numbers, when we multiply them, will give me a 3, but when I combine them will give me a negative 4? Well, we know that the factors of 3 are 1 and 3, so it must be 1 and 3. Now let's look at the symbols. When I multiply the symbols, it's positive, but when I combine them, they're negative. So we're looking at two negative terms. X minus 1, x minus 3 equal to 0. Now we're going to set this to 0 because that's the way the statement is written. We have x minus 1 is equal to 0, and x minus 3 is equal to 0. Well, we know, again, isolate our variable, our x. So x is equal to 1. Isolate the variable, x is equal to 3. These are our solutions. Well, let's plug them in to see, are we right? So we have x squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. We're going to write this twice because we have two solutions. X squared minus 4x plus 3, again, equal to 0. Now, all we're going to do is substitute. We're saying in this case, x is equal to 1, and in this case, x is equal to 3. Let us substitute. 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 3 is equal to 0. Substitute 3 for x over here. 3 squared minus 4x, which of course is 3, plus 3 is equal to 0. Now let's solve. At this point, we're not doing anything other than just arithmetic. 1 to the second power, 1 times 1 is 1, minus 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is equal to 0. Next equation, 3 to the second power, 3 times 3, 9, minus 4 times 3, 12, plus 3 is equal to 0. 1 minus 4 plus 3. Well, when we work with these problems, let's see, are there terms that we can combine? I have a positive 1, a positive 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. 0 is equal to 0. That checks out. I have a 9, positive term, positive 3. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 minus 12 is 0. 0 is equal to 0. That checks out. So we know these are the solutions to this quadratic equation. Example 2. Our next term, we have y to the second power minus 4y minus 12 is equal to 0. Well, again, let's set up our factor process the way we've done before. We know that when we combine the two terms, we will end up with a negative 4, but when we multiply the two terms, we'll end up with a negative 12. We also know we're working with the y variable, so that's easy to do, a y and a y. Okay, we also know that we must have a positive and a negative term, because when we combine them, we're going to have a negative, and when we multiply, we'll have a negative also. So I'm going to put a negative and a positive. Now, I also know that my largest term will be negative, because when I combine them, I have a negative term here. And I'm willing to bet it is 6 and 2. Let's give it a shot. 6 and 2. Let's use our FOIL method to see if we're correct. FOIL, F-O-I-L, first term, y squared, our outer term, 2y, our inner term, minus 6y, and our last term, minus 12. Y squared, negative 4y, I combined, minus 12, and we can see we check. That's correct. So we have y minus 6 is equal to 0, and y plus 2 is equal to 0. Isolating our variable, y is equal to 6, y is equal to negative 2. Those are our two terms. Now, to see if they work, let's plug them into our original equation. We have y squared minus 4y minus 12 is equal to 0. Okay, let's start with y is equal to 6. Y is equal to 6. Now let's substitute. This is plug in what we know. 6 to the second power minus 4 times 6 minus 12 is equal to 0. 6 to the second power is 36 minus 4 times 6 is 24 minus 12 is equal to 0. Well, let us combine any terms here that we know we can. We have a negative 24 and a negative 12. So we have 36 minus 36 is equal to 0. And 36 minus 36, 0 is equal to 0. That checks out. So we know this is a solution to it. Our next, we have y is equal to negative 2. Y to the second power minus 4y minus 12 is equal to 0. And for our y, we're going to plug in a negative 2. Negative 2 squared minus 4 times a negative 2 minus 12 is equal to 0. Now let us simplify. Negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 4 times a negative 2 plus 8 minus 12 is equal to 0. And can we combine any terms here? We have a positive 4 and a positive 8. And now we have 12 minus 12 is equal to 0. 12 minus 12 is 0 is equal to 0. That also checks out. So we have our solutions to this quadratic equation.
Please pause the video now and complete the problems in your workbook. When finished, press play, and we'll continue with the next lesson.